Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for tuning in. I want to let you know, I don't have any fancy opening credits and ending credits. I don't have any of that. No sponsorship. This is about getting a message, and it really is an urgent message. This is a brand new podcast. It's doing well, but there's a message to get out, and that's the reason why I'm here. I'm not here just I'm not here to make money off this podcast. That's not what it's for. It's here to get a message to you, and I think you appreciate, just getting right to the point, cut and dry, no commercials. I think people will appreciate that. Okay, so I want to get on the great Dr. King, the legend. Dr. King said, and I want you to think about this. He said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. My spirituality is the most realest thing to me. It's as real as breathing. I have to have it. I have to have my spirituality. So it has, if I didn't have a Grow program, I'm on the Grow program. If I wasn't on this program, I would be back in the world doing what I was doing. I have to be on this program. I live this program, and I want you to live it, because I'm going to tell you something. If you live this program, your whole life would change. Everything would change. I used to do different things. I talk about how I used to watch Jerry Springer. I used to laugh at that. And at the time, that was my first husband. He told me he didn't want me watching that. But when he went to work, I watch it anyway. And I had a little 2-year-old running around. And my 2-year-old, he be going around saying, Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. And then when my husband come home, he hear the baby saying that. And he said, what is he saying? I said, he ain't saying nothing. So, my husband steady listening to it. He said, he's saying that Jerry Springer, and then next thing you know, here come chaos. And we get to arguing and fighting. And then there go my marriage. But what I'm telling you, people, you need to remove chaos out your life. Jerry Springer, Maury Povich, Steve Wilkos, the have and the have-nots. I used to watch all that stuff. And that ain't nothing but chaos. What you laughing about, looking at, speaking about, that's what's going to manifest in your life, over your children, over your household. You don't want that. All that Facebook foolishness, you need to cut that out. If you're going to be on Facebook, tell somebody a good word. Tell somebody something that's going to help them. Tell somebody something that's going to lift them up. Stop spreading gossip. Stop spreading fights. Stop spreading rumors. If let's help somebody. Because I'm going to tell you something. Your soul is going to be an account. If you out here, down here getting over, scheming, conniving, using people, your heart ain't right. You know how your heart is. I can look at your face, but you know how your heart is, and if you need to get your heart right, only you know that. And I'm going to tell you, because when you leave, you're in the spiritual realm now, and you got to leave. You got to get out of here. It's a day coming. You got an appointment day and time that you ain't going to miss. So when you leave here, it's some soul catchers waiting. And the soul catchers, you will turn into a tormented soul. I know what I'm talking about. So you don't want to be a tormented soul. You done heard of ghosts and spirits and things like that. That stuff is real. The pastor don't preach about that. He don't talk about none of that. And I'm gonna tell you something else about the pastor. The pastor's wrong. Church got it wrong. Y'all giving your hard-earned money to this man, to a pastor, a woman, whoever it is. You're giving your hard-earned money, and this person getting rich off of you. They got mansions. They got luxury cars. They got houses. They got planes. They got money in the bank. And what you got? You steady giving your money to them every single month. 10% of your hard-earned income. That ain't for them. If you want to do something, help somebody that need it. Pastor don't need your money. If you going to have a ministry, you should support your own ministry. Ain't no sponsorship going to be on this podcast. Nobody has got to pay out nothing but me. I'm going to sponsor my own ministry. I don't need no sponsors because I got a word to get out. And Pastor, what you could do if you really want to help somebody, with all that tithe money, with all that money, that equity in that house, why don't you help in your community, Pastor? Why don't you start building up around there? You could actually use that church for somebody to live in. Let them live in there, Pastor. We got hard times right now. We got coronavirus going on right now. People losing their house. They losing their cars. They losing everything, Pastor. And you sitting up there looking good. You need to come out of that. Because I'm going to tell you something. The soul catcher's waiting on you too, Pastor. While you sitting up there fattening your pocket, you can't take it with you. It's going to stay here. So you need to do right, Pastor. I'm telling you, you need to come out of that, people. Really. We ain't doing right. Our heart ain't right. We got to change. The ancestors are not pleased. They're not pleased with us. I'm going to tell you, it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us now. A whole lot. And over those 400 years, they took Africans to everywhere. They didn't just come to the New World. They went everywhere. They went to France. They went to Germany. Now we everywhere. It's a bunch of us. But it's still a message for everybody. It's not just Africans. The message is for everybody to stop oppressing. Stop oppressing one another. Stop oppressing yourselves, because you're going to meet judgment. The day is going to come. You can sit here and think you're getting over right now, but you ain't getting over. Whatever you're doing, you need to come out of it. It's time. I'm telling you, it's time. If you ever heard a message that you need to hear, and this right here got me right. It definitely got me right, because, I was in Christianity, doing it right on one day, the rest of the week, arguing, acting a fool, clowning with my husband, wasn't listening to him, wasn't paying him no mind, doing me. That's what we call it. I'm doing me. What you doing? I'm doing me. No, you ain't doing you. You doing wrong. You need to come up out of that. So, I'm telling you, we need to get right, people. We need to get right. We really need to get right. I'm 53 years old. But I know right now, I know I'm on the right path. I thought I was on the right path when I was on the radio talking about Noah and the ark and Daniel in the lion's den and all that other foolishness. But now I know I'm on the right path now. So you need to heed the warning. Anytime somebody give you a warning, heed it. Don't act like it's a joke. Don't say, well, they don't know what they talking about. Well, that's a bunch of silly foolishness. No, it ain't. Anytime somebody tell you I'm going to do this, you better believe they going to do that. So trust them. And heed the warning, and let's grow.